Why do some people cling to love while others run from it? And why do some relationships feel safe while others feel scary? Ever wonder if there is a reason why you fall for the same type of person over and over again? Or why you always end up in the same kind of relationship drama? Turns out there might be. Your past experiences, particularly with your first caregivers, shape your attachment style, which in turn affects how you give and receive love as an adult. But don't worry. By understanding your attachment style, you can start to break old patterns and create new ones. So let's explore why you love the way you do. Know. 1. What is an attachment style? Imagine your relationships as a dance. An attachment style is like your dance move. It's your go-to pattern, a set of behaviors that you fall back on when you're in a relationship. But just like any dance move, your attachment style isn't set in stone. You can learn new ones, even if it takes a little practice. So why does this happen? Well, your attachment style is all about how you connect to others emotionally. It's based on your past experiences with your parents or caregivers, particularly during your earliest years when you became aware of yourself as a separate being. Your caregivers were like your first teachers in the school of love. Their responsiveness to your needs taught you how to trust and communicate. Now, I know we don't always have happy memories of our childhood, but the idea is that these early interactions become a blueprint for how you relate to others later in life. Okay, cool. But what are the main types of attachment styles? Let's get into it. Now. 2. The 4 main types. First up, we've got the rock stars of relationships, the securely attached. About 50 to 60% of us fall into this category. Secure people tend to have a healthy amount of self-confidence and feel comfortable both being close to others and on our own. We generally find it easy to trust and communicate with our partner, express our emotions openly and honestly, and work through conflicts together. Think of a well-rehearsed dance duo. They know when to lead and when to follow, and they make it look effortless. Next, we have the anxious lovers. About 20% of us show signs of anxious attachment. Anxious people often have a strong desire for closeness in relationships, but also tend to worry a lot about our partnerships. We can be super sensitive to rejection and find it hard to trust our partner, sometimes getting so caught up in the relationship that we lose sight of our own needs and wants. Our fear of abandonment or rejection can lead to constant reassurance seeking. Picture a couple dancing where one partner is always pulling the other close, never wanting to let go, but also constantly checking if their partner is still there. Then we have the avoidant lovers, accounting for about 25% of the population. Avoidants tend to be more independent and less emotionally expressive. We value our freedom a lot and may find it difficult to trust or rely on our partners. When things get too close for comfort, we might pull away, shut down, or start avoiding our partner. It's like one partner in a dance suddenly decides to go solo, breaking away from the other and not really caring if they're still in sync. And finally, we have the disorganized lovers, making up about 5% of the population. This attachment style is a mix of anxious and avoidant tendencies. People with this style often have a hard time trusting their partner, but also struggle with feelings of abandonment. It's like being at a dance club, taking a step forward only to stumble backward. There's a lot of chaos and confusion in their love lives. Now that you know the basics of the 4 main types of attachment styles, let's look at some real-world examples. 3. Spotting your attachment style in action. Check out this little scenario. Sarah and Tom have been together for a while. When Tom goes out with his friends without mentioning it to Sarah, she gets really upset. She feels abandoned and starts texting him non-stop. Tom, who has an avoidant attachment style, feels suffocated by this constant neediness and tries to create distance by going out more often or taking longer trips without her. See that push-pull dynamic? That's a classic example of anxious and avoidant attachment at play. How about this one? Mark and David have been best friends since college. When David gets a promotion at work, he doesn't share the good news with Mark right away. Instead, he waits for Mark to ask about his big project. Mark, who is securely attached, notices that David seems distant and goes out of his way to ask about it. David then opens up and tells him about the promotion. Can you spot the secure attachment style here? Okay, now let's see another scenario. Lisa and Chris are on a date. Chris is having a great time, but he doesn't feel ready to label it as a relationship just yet. He's afraid of commitment. Lisa, on the other hand, is looking for something serious. She feels a strong connection with Chris, but is starting to worry if he feels the same way about her. Chris's behavior makes her question whether this relationship will lead anywhere, causing her to become more clingy and needy, which only pushes Chris away more. So what do you see here? Yep, that's anxious and avoidant attachment playing out in a potential relationship. These are just a few examples, but attachment styles affect how we interact in all our relationships, including romantic ones. Number 4. How your attachment style affects your relationships. If you have a secure attachment style, your relationships are likely to be marked by trust, emotional closeness, and effective communication. However, if you have an anxious attachment style, you might find yourself constantly worrying about your partner leaving you, which could lead to needy behaviors. Avoidant attachment can make it tough to trust and rely on your partner, often leading to emotional disconnection and an unwillingness to compromise. Disorganized attachment can make things even more complicated, creating a confusing mix of emotional highs and lows, trust and suspicion. Here's the thing, no matter your attachment style, it's normal to experience all these emotions from time to time. It is only when these patterns become a regular feature of your relationships that they might indicate an attachment issue. Now, 5. What can you do about it? Now, for the good news. You don't have to be stuck with the attachment style you were dealt. Remember, we're not talking about your personality here, but about learned behaviors. With self-awareness, the willingness to grow, and the support of a healthy relationship, you can shift towards a more secure attachment style. But wait, how do you change something you didn't even realize you had? Well, let's dive into some ways to recognize your attachment style. Now, 6. How to find out your attachment style. Ask yourself these questions. Do you find it easy to trust and get close to people? Or do you prefer to keep some emotional distance? Are you comfortable being alone, or do you feel a strong need to be in a relationship? How do you usually handle conflicts with your partner? Do you open up and communicate, or do you shut down and avoid the issue? By reflecting on these questions, you'll start to see patterns in your relationships and develop a better understanding of your attachment style. If you're still unsure, don't worry. Over time, as you continue to observe your feelings and reactions in different situations, you'll become more attuned to your attachment style. And remember, it's not about labeling yourself. It's about learning and growing. Your attachment style is like a puzzle piece that helps you understand your past experiences and current relationships better. It's a chance to break free from old patterns and create new, healthier ones. So take the time to explore your attachment style. Embrace your unique journey, and remember that growth and change are always possible.